the more time passes, the more I'm really starting to believe the NBA needs to shorten their season. And there's two reasons why a lot of people say the NBA needs to shorten its season. One is because they just feel like this season is too long from an attention standpoint, right? If you look at football, one of the reasons why football is so popular, it's because there's only, 17 games now? I don't even know. And so each game means more. And obviously, people aren't suggesting that the NBA needs to go to that extreme, but like cutting a few games or however many games from the season would definitely make each game feel more valuable. People would be more invested. They just don't feel like the regular season matters because there's so many games, and so it's hard to get so invested into 82 games per team. And there's also this sort of element of like people's attention spans are getting smaller, so like you just need to keep them invested more, and the way to keep them invested more is to have fewer games, which raises the value of each game, all that stuff. And like I struggle with that reason because I definitely understand it, and I understand it, and like it totally makes sense. Like I said, that's one of the reasons why football is the best sport or the most popular sport in America, is because of the scarcity of games. But and so if you cut, and again, we're not saying the NBA should go to like a 30 game regular season, but if they can cut 10, 15, 20 games, all of a sudden that shortens the regular season. You get to the playoffs quicker. Each of those games means more, and you're going to have more people tune in. But at the same time, like there's something that just feels kind of icky to do that. First of all, just from like a tradition standpoint, hey, NBA season's been 82 games. It should stay at 82 games. Like the same way baseball's a 162 game season. Football is, I guess they keep adding more games now, but it's roughly a 16, 17, 18 game season. Basketball is 82 games, but at the same time, like that's not how you're supposed to, you have to evolve, you have to grow, you have to tweak things. Like in baseball added the pitch clock to grow. Football's adding another game, mainly for money reasons. And if you're the NBA, like you got to sort of like see what people are saying and read the terrain and like understand the needs and the wants of your fans and sort of try to find some sort of middle ground. But at the same time, something feels icky to me about catering to the consistently shrinking attention spans of our country. And so like just I sort of stand on principle on that, where like that part feels a little icky. The other reason why people suggest to shorten the season, and this one I actually kind of agree with, is just because of injuries. It's injuries. Like every year just feels like so many of the top guys, so many of the most notable guys are dealing with injuries. Every playoff run in the 2020s feels like it's been headlined by at least one or two like massive injuries to a big name player. And as much as I want to say like, oh well, guys in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s had no problem playing 82 games, why do you? Like there's a very real difference that needs to be considered, which is just like the way the game is played today, I don't think is sustainable for an 82 game season. Like the game right now is it's so much faster. There's so much more movement, so much more stopping time, so much more ground to cover that you see these guys' bodies, like they just can't handle it. And it's not meant to insult them as athletes and say they're not trying, or it's just the demands of the game today are just so much more different than they were in previous eras, where it used to be slower and it was more physical, but that just required more muscle, not as much like mobility and flexibility and core strength and stuff like that, which I think is such a big part of the NBA today. And so if you want, like this past postseason, like Halliburton, Tatum, Lillard all tore their Achilles. I have to imagine in part because of the way the game is played. So if you cut down on the amount of games, again, by how many, 5, 10, 15, 20, I don't know, like it's obviously not going to eliminate injuries entirely. Of course, nothing really can. But, just some of that wear and tear that accumulates over these regular season games goes away. And then like postseason, guys are fresher, guys are, better off. And it would just, in theory, lead to fewer injuries. If you create fewer opportunities for guys to wear and tear, for guys to break down, for guys to hurt themselves, then, they're going to have fewer injuries. And so that's sort of my bigger concern. And that's sort of like my, like, if you said why I think we should shorten the season, it's because of that. It's just because, like, and again, you also have to factor in, like, how much AAU these guys are playing, like, how many miles these guys are playing before they even come into the league. So that factor in, which is, like, the way the game is played. Guys have to, run so much more, so much faster, so much, harder. They have to cover more ground, so much stop and starting, trying to close out to the 3-point line, like, just all this movement. It's not suitable for 82 games, and we're just seeing that more and more. And so I think, if you're gonna shorten the regular season, I don't necessarily, I understand why you would do it from an attention span standpoint. I don't really like it, but if you said, hey, we're doing it because like these injuries are just too much and like we need to protect our guys, then I'm all in for it, just because I hate seeing all these guys get injured. And again, we're also talking with massive long-term career-altering injuries like these Achilles tears. Like we're seeing more and more Achilles tears, and I don't think it's a coincidence because of the way the game is played and because of the way the body moves and all that stuff. But yeah, so I just I don't want to see injuries. I don't think anyone wants to see injuries, and if it means cutting a few games off the regular season to make guys healthier, and then that way the regular season more guys are playing, and specifically in the playoffs more guys are playing, I'm all for it.